all right, for stage one is like, these are all you newbies out there. You're like, how do I do it? How do I get started? Now, when I teach too, I really honestly teach that you should go directly to the owners. If you're following me, you know that you should really go directly to the owners because that's the best way to find the best deals. But, you know, the truth is that there's a lot of storage facilities for sale out there right now. So, you know, if you're the type of person that's okay with running numbers on a property, like, so I just got sent an email on Friday for a property for $3 million. He wants $3 million and he's making $180,000 a year. And I know I'm about to sell one of my properties that's making $160,000 a year. And I'm probably going to sell it, you know, maybe around like maybe 1.8 to 2.2, you know, depending on what cap rate, you know, we come up with for it and stuff. And his facility is like almost exactly compared to mine. And he wants $3 million. All right. Now that's a realtor listing that property. All right. So you got to keep in mind, like if you're going online or you're talking to brokers, a lot of times those properties are like super, like too high, like super high compared to what an owner would give. Like, so I'm the owner and I know that I'll probably get around $2 million for this thing. And he's pushing like $3 million because the realtor is telling him like, let's just shoot for $3 million and see what happens, right? Kind of a thing. And not all realtors are bad or anything like that. I'm just saying that this is kind of how the world works, right? So, yeah. So, in stage one, your first step is going to be building a list of facilities to buy. Okay, so I have like 10 virtual assistants, and what they do is they call owners. They do cold calling is what they do. This is just one of the many ways that you could do it, right? But they, like, the rule is for us internally that they cannot start cold calling until they have a list of 300 facilities, you know, to call that are like, you know, in the parameters that we're looking for. Okay, so in certain areas and stuff. So, you know, you want to build a list of facilities to buy. All right. And so what that means is that you need to figure out what market, right, you want to be in, whether it's primary, secondary, or tertiary, right? When you figure out which market that you want to be in, and then you get to figure out what the cap rate is going to be as well, right? And you also figure out what market that you want to be in by just determining how much money do you have. How much money do you have? So for instance, you're not going to buy in a primary market if you don't have like $3 million plus. Okay. Right. Because, like, you know, in like primary markets is like super expensive. Typically secondary markets are like $1 to $3 million, and tertiary markets are like less than $1 million. All right. So you need to like figure out how much money do you have to purchase a facility. And then from there, you're like, okay, so now I only can come up with $100 grand. So that means I can only buy $500 grand typically because you put 20% down. Like, where can I find a $500,000 facility? All right. And then you start going out into the markets and looking like for, you know, into the areas and start looking and building your list. So it's like reverse engineering, right? You know, you want to really try to figure out how much you can afford. Now, what that means is that, like, you know, are you going to be coming up with money yourself to buy the facility? Are you going to bring other people in to help you buy the facility? Are you going to raise the money? You know, all different kinds of things that you can do in funding. But like, that's the question of the day. How much money can you come up with? And so then that's when that's when you determine what market that you're going to be in. And then the markets are going to be, right, either country in the middle of nowhere, right? If you don't have a lot of money. And the thing is commercial real estate is expensive. So like if you're in the middle of, even if you're in the middle of nowhere, you could still find a property that's $1 million, right? So it's just, it's expensive. So you gotta learn these markets, primary, secondary, and tertiary markets. Now I've talked a lot about this like over the course of the last couple of years. All right. So primary, secondary, and tertiary markets is where you want to be. Should choose which one you want to be, choose how much money you have so that you can determine where you should be looking. And then you start building your list of facilities, right? So you're going to be looking for you either on Google Maps or driving for storage or going on Crexi, LoopNet, MLS. I mean, all the different ways that you can find facilities. You're going to build this list. All right. And I tell my virtual assistants 300 is the minimum, because essentially like when you call and talk to owners, I mean, all of them are going to say no, except for one. For every 50 owners that you talk to, one is going to say, yes, I want an offer. One. All right. So, so like if you in a day, you call 20 people and they all say no, right? You don't want to give up. It just takes time, So, so then you want to, you want to have a huge list that you can just like call and then just, recall and call and follow up, right? So this building of this list, however you build this list, all right, is what the first step is. Coming up with a list that you can farm, all right, of either, facilities on Crexi or, facilities from Google Maps or whatever you want to do, okay?